Hi there, my name is Aaron Short and welcome to my YouTube channel, and today I'm checking out the Dig Deep pedal. I've been meaning to make this video for a while. If you play solo shows, you really need to check this out. This pedal takes the lowest note that you're playing and plays it an octave lower, so it creates that bass kind of effect, right? They call it the subtone, the sub effect. Now, subwoofer, you don't hear that through an iPhone. You don't hear that through a tiny speaker, portable speaker. You really want an 8-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch speaker. Ideally, a PA system with a subwoofer would be amazing. In-ears are going to sound amazing, of course. So do consider that. You need something that will reproduce these tones faithfully. So a little tiny 3-inch speaker probably isn't going to do the job, but you're probably not using that at your shows anyway. So let me give you a close-up and just show you the controls. So it's pretty simple. We have the input here. You plug your guitar in there. Output goes to PA. The 9-volt here on the side, and the on-off button, and the dry signal level, and the sub signal level, and that's it. There is another control here at the top. They call it the function button, and I haven't even used it yet, but you can use that to go in and tweak parameters. I'll link their website below where you can buy this, and also you can check out the user guide that will tell you exactly what that button does. Maybe with that button I can make this even better, but what appealed to me about this pedal is I plugged it in and got the results that I wanted pretty much just out of the box. So right now, the controls are both straight up at noon. This is a Cole Clark Angel. The thing about this pedal is obviously it will react differently to how you play and what you play. But what's impressed me the most is that with this guitar, it works so well, because with this guitar, I have a very sensitive undersaddle, face sensor pickup, and microphone. This guitar is incredibly sensitive. I'll turn off my mic and tap on the guitar so you can see how sensitive the guitar is. So that's all coming from the guitar. There was no mic there at all. That was the direct sound. So you'd assume that having a pickup that sensitive would mess up the algorithm in the Dig Deep pedal, but it seems to work really well. I can only imagine if you use something like a magnetic pickup or just a single source piezo undersaddle, they will work even better, I assume. But today I'm going to just use the guitar as I use it at my shows, because that's all I can really reference and talk about, right? First of all, I'll play through the strings to show you what the pedal is actually doing. Right, so what it's doing is it's figuring out that it's not going to do the effect above a certain note. So on here, there we go, you see that? It's just about there, and then it's gone. So it's very cool. You won't get the effect on the high strings. It only does it up to a certain point. So what that means is when you play an E chord, it's playing the low E. When you play a G chord, it's the low G. A C chord. And you hear what's happening. It's sustaining the lowest note. It's not triggering the other notes. Really, really, really good. Really good. And then up to a D chord. Now the D isn't as loud as like the low E. So one thing I've noticed with this pedal is you may want to run it out into a compressor, because the low E, because it's a fatter string, versus the D, you know, it's okay, but some people will run this out into a compressor, and you can actually use a TRS cable out of this pedal to give you the separate signals. Today I'm just going straight in with one cable because I love simplicity, but you can actually take these signals out separately. You could run just the sub sound into a compressor to even the level out even more, which is a great feature they've put in there. So as you can hear, it's tracking really well. Let me play some fingerstyle as well. And the bass sound, the sub sound, sorry, is very fat. I love the sound of it. You know, the great thing with this pedal is, and the best effect pedals, is that when you turn it off, you really miss it. So if I'm sitting here strumming like this, I might start thinking to myself eventually, what's it really doing? It's not giving me a walking bass line. It's not a backing track. Do I need it? Well, you turn it off and then suddenly As great as this pickup system is in the Cole Clark, it's missing all of that depth and fullness that I had before from that sub note. And if you want to, you can turn that down. So now I'll put the sub down to about 9 o'clock. Now it's a much more subtle effect. Now you could hear there, the note kind of jumped. So the tracking isn't perfect. Well, it's not fair to say the tracking isn't perfect. It's tracking what you play. So here's the one caveat to this pedal and any pedal like this. It's listening for the lowest frequency, right? Obviously, like an open E is easy. You just got that big low E string ringing out. It's going to hear that nice and clear. Can't really go wrong. Same with any chord on the low string. There's a G, there's an A. Okay, that works great. Now the problem is, the only problem I've really found with this, or potential problem, I don't want to say problem, it's the way I play. If I mute a string as I do the Jimi Hendrix way, like this, that low note still creates a frequency, especially on a guitar like this, which is this sensitive. So if I deaden that, if I mute the string, you can hear it's creating the sub on that dead note. Now the danger of that is, if it hears that frequency as lower, it's still going to think that's the lowest note. So what's the solution here? On this particular guitar especially, I have to play cleaner. Now I don't really see it as a downside. I should probably play cleaner anyway. If I turn the pedal off and strum with that muted string, you see it's still coming through. I wouldn't want to record like that. That's bad technique, right? So I really need to avoid that low string. I still mute it, but just try to avoid it. Which is a lot better sounding anyway. And then with the pedal on, and you can hear it picked up a high note. But I don't mind that. That almost sounds like a moving bass line, which can be nice. It makes it a bit more human. But that's the only thing I've noticed. The only way I can see them really improving this is to make some kind of AI pedal that can intelligently tell that you're hitting that muted string, which you don't really want to be, and omit it completely from the signal. And of course, at that point, it could even play bass lines and things as well. I can't wait for the day we get to those pedals, but they don't seem to be anywhere soon, right? So definitely not perfect, but much better than the ones that I've played so far. And you can go in there and tweak the pedal as well. Remember, you've got the ability to use that function button to go in there and make changes to everything. Let me just play a song that I'd normally use this on. So normally I'll be playing something like in the verse. Right? You can guess the song. And I'll hit this in for the chorus, and I might... So what I've done there is I've adjusted what I'm playing. I'm playing a bar chord so I can get to that shape and have that lowest note and that lowest note. If I'd done it in open, I've just got to make sure I miss those bottom two strings. I mean, that's a lot of sound there, right? If I hit those two strings, I don't want to hit them, so... It's all to do with your playing. So I will say that you cannot play like this It's going to sound horrible, but that is all just magnifying the fact that I'm not playing correctly, right? If you play like this, and especially fingerstyle, obviously fingerstyle is easier to be clean, I think. I think if you play fingerstyle, this will really excel because you're more accurate on fingerstyle. Right, that was perfect. It's strumming. You're going to have to get more accurate with your strumming, but like I said, I don't see that as negative. That's only a positive. when you come to record in the future, you're going to be glad that you did. So it's going to depend on how you play and what you play. If you play fingerstyle, I think this will be a game changer. If you're a very accurate player, I think you're going to love this, especially if you do solo shows or you don't always have a bass player. If you strum a lot, even when it goes wrong, I think if you're playing at home, you just want to feel like you've got more things going on. I still think you'll like it. And I honestly think if you're willing to work with it and improve your technique a little bit, you'll get more from it and it will make you a better player. I sound a bit preachy right now. I'm talking about myself as well. I'm always trying to use technology to make me better as a player and sound better to the audience. So lately I've been using in-ear monitors with a click track. The click track is actually a kick drum and the audience doesn't hear it, but they hear me being in time and playing the right tempo. And I'm improving my timing. When I started with that, my timing was horrible. Now my timing, I think, is pretty good. And that just took a few weeks. So the same thing with this pedal. If you play with this pedal all the time, and when you hear that mistake, use it as a reason to improve the way you played that section and do it again, I think over time you'll become a better player. And this thing really fills out the sound. Like I said, it's the best I've tried of these kind of pedals. I haven't tried everything, but the ones I have tried, this works the best. The only way I see it getting better is if they can improve the algorithm to ignore ghost notes, basically ignore sloppy play. I hate to say it, ignore sloppy playing, right? So I do hope one day we get those pedals. I hope one day we get a pedal that makes us perfectly in tune with no mistakes, but at that point, we're not going to improve as players, are we? So for more information, check the links below. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. Is this something you're interested in? Do you have one? How do you find it? How do you use it? Have you got any tips for me? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and be well. Bye-bye.